face many troublemakers in our lives in different shapes, different sizes, different circumstances, and with different attitudes, who love to create a trouble either with a hideous agenda or just an attitude to create a funny situation and watch the show from the ringside. Now, who are these troublemakers? How do they operate? Troublemakers could be known and habitual ones, or they could be occasional ones, either driven by something which has hurt them, or given the vulnerabilities of the total framework, they find a chance to create some amount of trouble, either personally benefit from it or create a vicarious pleasure by making others suffer. How do they operate? They find non existent kind of fears and scare others. They find scandals, either a corruption, a sexual scandal, or an affair, can be easily injected into the corporate, personal, or professional or social gossip and create situations which will derail the main agenda. They most of the time tell lies or half truths. They take advantage of the legal provisions. Many times I have seen people who have protection of the law, they create trouble. They could be people who are protected by an anti-dowry act. They could be people who could be protected by atrocities on a particular segment of the society act or minorities act. Women who have certain type of protection, they take advantage of such things and create situations of indiscipline which create trouble in the organizational framework. But because they are protected, they get further impetus to spread their act without being punished for it. They exploit the proximity to the powers in the organization, start a trouble, enjoy the show as other people fight for bringing the situation back to normal. Intuitively, we know who are the troublemakers. We also know that who are the potential troublemakers. So, how do we deal with them? Management books which deal with situations where troublemakers try to derail an organizational or leadership or strategic agenda most often prescribe that they should be ignored. Ignoring them many times helps because it comes as an impulse of energy to the troublemaker, and once they find that nothing is working out, generally they give up. Second important tip is to be empathetic. Understand the point of view of the troublemakers, assuming that they are logical beings, and try to address the root cause, whether it is an inferiority complex, whether it is a childhood problem, whether it is a family problem, whether it is a career problem. Third important thing is, of course, confronting them, telling them that what they are doing is wrong. And many times I have seen that this works. Where if you do not call out somebody when she or he is doing something which is blatantly wrong and detrimental to the organizational interest, it's likely that they will keep on doing it again and again. So confronting them with their lies, confronting them with the weakness of their argument and the attitude that they exhibit in fermenting trouble many times also helps. Fourth important thing, escalating. They may be your peer level, especially at the peer level. When troublemakers come and create a problem, it is very difficult to deal with them because they have equal power or equal experience or equal association and networking inside the organization or in the society or in your family even. So you need to escalate. In the family, you tell a father or a grandfather or an uncle to come and advise the troublemaker and show him or her the triviality of the issue. In the organization, you escalate it to the manager or you escalate it to the managing director or people who are in powers of influencing the troublemaker to desist from whatever he or she is doing. Few situations I have seen that being harsh, blunt, and giving a bitter dose of your mind, especially if you are in the position of authority, If you call a troublemaker out and read the right act and tell his or her career is at stake if they don't mend their ways. This harsh, bitter dose, or being blunt and brute, or even doing a semblance of punishment, like moving them out, like putting them to innocuous and ineffective positions of power and authority, also helps. Playing an equally devious game is also resorted by some of the people, especially in very large organizations where escalating or informal ways do not work. This has to be carefully crafted because it could create more problems than it tries to solve. Last but not the least, in the organizational or social context, if you identify a troublemaker and if you're trying to deal with a troublemaker, better to document, be formal about this, keep your poise, and try to bring in the organizational method and processes for dealing with troublemakers, keeping note of things for habitual and chronic troublemakers in any situation will always help. Troublemakers make our life difficult. Knowing to deal with the troublemakers is important, but keeping a framework and keeping your own peace of mind and not playing into the trap that they have laid is very important. Thank you very much.